is the Prime Minister's remarks on the BJP Foundation Day. He said India stays firm with its interest while being viewed as a nation that can firmly speak about humanity at a time when the entire world is divided into two rival factions. Now, this is the 42nd Foundation Day of the BJP, and coming as it does after its big election victories, it's being marked in clearly a very big way. Also, Sanket, put all of this into context for us. What were the highlights so far?
Yes, so it's an important speech, and that too on the day of the 42nd Foundation Day of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP wanted to observe and celebrate this in a big way. So there were rallies, there were these iconic caps that have come in from Gujarat, Modi energy bars. I mean, everything possible that could be done to celebrate this has been done. One thing very interesting is that the party wants to continuously position itself as the only political option in the country. Of course, this will be any political party's desire, but after having won four assembly segments, four assembly constituencies, states, one would think that they would take it easy, perhaps concentrate more on other things. But the BJP, the message is very clear that you should hit the ground running immediately for the next big electoral contest. Now, this is something for which the BJP has been criticized as well. That is it only an election winning machine? But see, the point is, in a democracy, if elections are important to govern, then elections must be taken seriously. And I think that's the message that the Prime Minister has tried to send. Of course, this is a message which has been sent by the Congress President Sonia Gandhi also, where she a couple of days back addressed a gathering of Congress MPs, and there she said that the revival of the Congress is essential for democracy and that needs to be done. So at a time like this, while the BJP continues to be strong, to aim to become stronger, even more powerful, at a time where there are electoral contests in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. I'm talking about the recent electoral contest later this year, where an Aam Aadmi party is proving to be a big challenger, perhaps more than the existing challenger. At a time like this, the BJP wants to up its game, and I guess the purpose of this speech and all the action. For instance, the BJP chief is also meeting the heads of mission of various countries. That meeting also took place in the national capital.
Particularly of interest, Sanket, given exactly what we heard the Prime Minister say, which was about how national interests are paramount at a time when the world is polarized. We're not sort of standing with one side or another. We're looking after our own interests.
Right.
Let's just play that soundbite out for our viewers.
जब पूरी दुनिया दो विरोधी ध्रुवों में बटी हो, तब भारत को एक ऐसे देश के रूप में देखा जा रहा है जो दृढ़ता के साथ मानवता की बात कर सकता है। हमारी सरकार राष्ट्रीय हितों को सर्वोपरि रखते हुए काम कर रही है। आज दुनिया के सामने एक ऐसा भारत है जो बिना किसी डर या दबाव के अपने हितों के लिए अड़िग रहता है। इस बार का स्थापना दिवस 3 वजहों से बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो गया है। पहला कारण है कि इस समय हम देश की आजादी के 75 वर्ष का पर्व मना रहे हैं। दूसरा कारण है तेजी से बदलती हुई वैश्विक परिस्थितियां, बदलता हुआ ग्लोबल ऑर्डर। इसमें भारत के लिए लगातार नई संभावनाएं बन रही है। तीसरा कारण भी उतना ही अहम है। कुछ सप्ताह पहले 4 राज्यों में भाजपा की डबल इंजन की सरकारें वापस लौटी है। 3 दशकों के बाद राज्यसभा में किसी पार्टी के सदस्यों की संख्या 100 तक पहुंची है।
So, Sanket, very quickly, interesting that we've heard probably India's strongest statement yet on Ukraine, denouncing the war. But at the same time, we've heard the External Affairs Minister in Parliament talking about this. And now the Prime Minister making it very clear, national interest is the priority, particularly in a polarized world.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at in the aftermath of this, the war is still on, so not technically aftermath. But India's position came under criticism, particularly at a time when United States of America made a dangerous assumption that we are pro-America. At least that was the impression, that this is a pro-American government. Because of this war, and when India had to decide what it needs to do, the US thought that India's position is, quote unquote, shaky. That's the word that was used by Joe Biden. I think what Narendra Modi has done is that he wants to reiterate this position of India that we will condemn the war, we will not support the war, we will continue to press for dialogue as the only option, and at the same time also pursue our national interests, our business interests, our trade interests with all stakeholders, whether it's Russia or whether it is the United States. It's this pragmatic foreign policy that India put in place, which it mentioned, S. Jaishankar in the Lok Sabha today mentioned it also in his speech, that the Prime Minister has addressed in the Sthapna Divas. Now, what the Prime Minister wants to do, and I want to bring you back to that point where J.P. Nadda, the BJP president, met with heads of missions of various countries. The idea is to show that this is not just the decision of the government, but also the thinking of the party behind the government. I think that's the positioning that the BJP wants to do, and take this message down and percolate it politically also among its political stakeholders.
All right, Sanket, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much indeed.